Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we pick up a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya chapter 6, the liberation of Prabhu. At 241. So we are at the point of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya with the head priest in Jagannath Puri, which is a super high position, like the king of Puri, Pataparudra Maharaj. They are, particularly speaking, the two heads of the town. And Bhattacharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, have been doubting a lot about the real identity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He tried to teach the Lord how to behave as a real sannyasi, as was the custom at this time, to read a lot, to be secluded, and to have association with other sannyasis or brahmacharis. And here, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very much astonished at the behavior of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, dancing, associating with all kind of people, not only sannyasis, brahmacharis, but grihasthas and shudras and fishermen and all kind of people. So for Bhattacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a kind of exception, not an heretic, but a kind of people that was in need of to be re-educated in a way. So because he had some sympathy toward him, he wanted to rectify him in a way that fits his own tenets of what is to be a right sannyasi at this time in Jagannath Puri. So he took him with him and he taught me during one whole week, and he saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like a duck under the rain. He had no reaction. He was shielded. So he was astonished, and finally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to him in a humble way, because he waited for a long time then. He didn't smash him, like we could say he could have done it, but he was very diplomatic in his behavior, very respectful, and he explained right on the way to Bhattacharya that his point of view of explaining the Srimad Bhagavatam was completely impersonalist. And he showed him his expertise in the scripture, and he explained that the Srimad Bhagavatam is exclusive for the devotees, for those who have a personal concept of the Supreme Absolute Truth, whilst Bhattacharya was actually an impersonalist. So some time went like that, and Bhattacharya had got also the mercy of other devotees, and especially his brother, if I remember, or brother-in-law, I don't remember, Gopinath Bhattacharya. Gopinath Acharya was a staunch follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He preached him quite a lot. And ultimately, Bhattacharya changed completely his mind. And he became an exalted devotee. And this made a big impression on all the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri. Because the head pujari, the head priest, from an impersonalist became devoted to Lord Krishna and was completely at the feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So a lot of people, they were convinced of the divinity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because when you are an important person and you change your mind completely, then this have a lot of impact in the inhabitants. So the Jagannath Puri Vasis, they were quite amazed, and quite a lot of them they adopted the process of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we are at this point when the Bhattacharya is meeting Lord Chaitanya one more time.
So they already discussed 1 week. And now it's after.
Hein?
Ils avaient déjà discuté pendant 1 semaine et maintenant c'est après. C'est ça,
Oui.
le verset qui m'a dit.
Non, il est devenu dévot. Bhakti sadhana sheshta shunita hoile mana Prabhu upadesha kaila nama sankirtan. Translation and purport. Then the Bhattacharya asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which item is the most important in the execution of devotional service? The Lord replied that the most important item was the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Purport. There are 9 items to be executed in devotional service. These are enumerated in the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.32. Shavanam kirtanam vishnu shmaranam padasevanam achanam vananam dasyam shakyam atmanivedanam. Hearing the glories of the Lord, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering worship in the temple, offering prayers, becoming a servant of the Lord, becoming the Lord's friend, and Sarvatma Nivedan, offering oneself fully at the lotus feet of the Lord. These are the 9 devotional processes. In the nectar of devotion, these are expanded into 64 items. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked the Lord which item was most important, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately answered that the most important item is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He then quoted the following verse from the Brihan Naradiya Purana, 38th chapter, verse 120, to confirm his statement. Arernam, kevalam, kalonasti, evanasti, gati, ranyataha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answered to this crucial question. Actually, not only what is the most important in the execution of devotional service, but what is the most important thing to advance spiritually, to do some progress in spiritual life. Then the Lord replied immediately, the chanting of the holy name is the only way. And he quotes this verse from this very known verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. No, not Srimad Bhagavatam, Brihan Naradiya Purana. Arenam Arenam Eva Kevalam. From Brihan Naradiya Purana. There is 18 Puranas. Srimad Bhagavatam is the Christ jewel of all the Purana. And one of the Purana is the Brihan Naradiya Purana. So practically speaking, we see in our movement how so much emphasis is stressed on the chanting of the holy name. We export it to the public at large because it's cheap, the most available kind of sacrifice that we can feed the people with. We can feed the people with the holy name and feed them with prasadam. These two items, they cannot avoid, unless they block their ears. It happens sometimes. You see some people, they don't want to hear. They really want to be stuck in this material world. They try to escape from the net that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread on the ocean of living entities of this Kali Yuga, soaking in an ocean of faults also. So from this net, with very fine des mailles, je sais pas comment on dit, petits holes, yeah. Very fine holes. Normally everybody will be caught by this net. But it so happens that some clever atheists are really escaping, and what can be done for them? It is their free will. Krishna doesn't object to their free wills. Otherwise, we don't speak of love of Godhead, but of robotics. So the principle of love is that there is some freedom. This concept is there, that you can use your freedom in a way or another. If you don't have freedom, you are more or less a robot, and the Krishna is not interested in robots. Krishna is interested in the fact that you replace your free will in the right direction, and you agree to voluntarily serve his lotus feet. That is agreeable toward Krishna. So when you see some movement where the people are advocating violence or the saber to convert people, to make them advance spiritually, you can understand some problems in the philosophy is there. Because you cannot make someone love you if you treat him with a saber or some weapon. It will have seemingly a look that, oh yeah, yes, I do as you, of course, I do as you want, no problem. But the heart will be smashed in the other way. So the activity will be in one way, and the speech also, but the heart won't be at the same vibration. It will be completely opposite. And in due course of time, people will act according to their heart, not according to the law you try to enforce on them. That's why our movement is more based on the seduction of the people that based on a philosophical point of view. Philosophy and books are there for those who want to be to understand the things, and knowledge is a good thing for that. But the aim of life is not to develop knowledge. One lady, she came and I came to get knowledge. I said, you can get knowledge here, but this is not the most important thing. Here we teach people that the ultimate goal of life is to develop love of Godhead and to relink ourselves to the Supreme Godhead. So for that, we have some special weapons of seduction. We try to induce people so that they have some attraction to Krishna in a way or another. Knowledge is something that helps in general, but it's not exclusive and it's not the real ultimate goal in life. She was quite deceived by that because, of course, most people are impersonalists, and impersonalists are they want to acquire some knowledge, understand things. All they work, and it's a good thing to get that, but it's also important to know that it's not just that, and there is a change of heart which is much more deeper, an operation of the heart that is to be done. Not only the intelligence, mind, senses to tame, but a change of heart. Normally, knowledge is supposed to make your intelligence accept and preach to the mind and the senses and the body, or to act accordingly in such a way that you be situated regularly in a normal daily basis on the goodness, on the mode of goodness. But Krishna says also to Arjuna, Triguna Vishaya Veda, Nishtriguna Bhavarjuno. Don't stay attached to the flowery language of the Vedas. And you have to access to a transcendental plane, the pure goodness plane. Then it is another thing because it underlies a change of heart, because our false ego will be turned opposite. Because we see that some people, they know the impersonalists generally they are more knowledgeable, yes, than us about the philosophy of Vedanta Sutra, and they are more austere and maybe more renounced than we are, but on the other way they develop a kind of proudness. They become proud of this kind of opulence. It's a subtle opulence, it's a fact. But they become proud of it, like some yogis who also develop some higher and supernatural powers. They get some dryness somewhere, and they become proud of their achievement. And sometimes they become intoxicated by that. And they are not able to conceive of the position of the devotees, who may be more, not so highly renounced or so highly expert in knowledge, but who are changing the heart. Because the role of the process is to dissolve our false ego, our false identification of being independent from Krishna, and turning it into being a servant of Krishna. So this change of ego from false to real ego is actually most desirable by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it makes you see life different and see things in a personal way, also toward devotees in general, all kind of living beings also in general. Not only the human beings, but the animals also, and the material nature as well. Impersonalists generally don't care about material nature, what's going on, it's all Maya. They are interested in their not being influenced by the mode of nature and preserving their knowledge, what they acquire, and in a way they build a shield or a shell around themselves made by this, a consequence of this false ego. And they falsely think they are liberated, but in actuality, by the saying of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are in the illusion that they are liberated. And generally, we see that these people are interested in doing the welfare activities around themselves, hospital or feeding people, or lodging people, or helping to alleviate the suffering of the people in general. Whilst the mercy that the devotee try to shower on the people at large is more on trying to attract them to Krishna. Showing them an aspect of Krishna that will interest them and later on attract them. Being any aspect of Krishna, there are so many aspects. And this is the duty of the spiritual master, to find the way to seduce people so that they become more and more interested in the science of Krishna consciousness. So the welfare for the living entities is at the level very close to the soul. That's the level of the false ego, or to drop this mentality of being the center of the universe, trying to react to the aggression of the three gunas, and that's what we speak of Atman Nivedana, completely abandoned and surrendered to Krishna. So we accept destiny and the fact and the things that are happening to us in a way that it is something that is helping us to rediscover our real identity of being a servant of Krishna. The materialists try to counteract in a kind of ping-pong party, ting, 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 ting. You answer to the problems and all the things he met in his world, he tried to respond and counteract and find something to alleviate his destiny, his way of living. He tried to get more comfortable in his situation, actually. That's it. So this is a passionate way of interacting with material nature, with the three guna. the devotee understands that the things that are sent to him, he should understand that there is something that Krishna wants him to understand. And sometimes we have plans and it doesn't work. So the mentality of the devotee is that it doesn't work. I tried this, it doesn't work. So Krishna must have a better plan. That's my plan that I proposed. And sometimes devotees are puzzled. What to do, what not to do. What Krishna wants. Difficult to understand sometimes. Situation like that. In this kind of situation, generally, Srila Prabhupada he says to us to choose a more hostile situation. The situation that is the most hostile for us. Because our tendency is to find easy things, easy ways to to practice spiritual life. And generally we have a lack of austerities in our way of practicing our spiritual life. And Srila Prabhupada says also that we have to be patient. Krishna also says you have practice and detachment. So this requires some time. And we must not be passionate and get the answer quite right. Sometimes we realize that after some time, Krishna answers our question or our problems in a way that we see it on other people. And Krishna shows that through the medium of other people, how they solve the problem, and it's a similar problem to us. Or oppositely, we wanted to do something. This person did almost the same thing, but he had this problem, etc. So we must learn from other spiritualists how they deal with the problem also. And especially in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where we have so many high-rank spiritualists and how they solve their problems. Now we had this problem, this story already.
Yeah.
I have to stop now, more or less.
Yeah,
we have to make it short. We have this story with Bali Maharaj, who was engrossed in a sequence. From a higher level, he became completely destroyed and quite like a slave. And he had this realization that it's a plan of the Lord, and he reacted accordingly, abandoning himself. Well, let it do. And he was greatly rewarded and glorified by the Lord for this. So, all these great warriors have super high training, and we are wondering, wow, how could I even touch the dust of their feet? But Krishna says, there is so many problems in the Kali Yuga ocean, but the only way is to chant the holy name of the Lord. And well, it's an easy thing, but we can notice that in the long run term, it is not so easy. It may be easy when you are in the kirtan, there's so many people chanting, dancing, etc. But when you have to chant your 16 rounds securely in your corner, and the situation is troublesome around, it's cold, or there is no people, or there is too much people, or people are coughing or chanting too loudly, or so many things. But still, we have to do it and try to connect with the Lord. This mentality that we keep going on is seducing a lot Krishna. Because no other people are doing that. They give way freely to their senses, to their mushroom thoughts or fashion, mushroom fashion, this. They are completely manipulated by the gunas. And the devotee, patiently, he tried to escape this boiling pressure, cooking in the head, and just keep on chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name. I thank you for your patience and tolerating my poor English and poor singing. And I wish you a good day. And don't forget to and finish your 16 rounds. You may be a short question or commentary. Yeah. Il faut parler fort.
What's a seduced devotee? Is it to the six symptom of love? How to seduce the devotee to feel comfortable for seduce the devotees around us?
J'ai pas compris.
I don't know how to be comfortable with seduction.
Seduce is probably not the right word you're trying to use. Maybe allure?
No, because he was saying...